Oh, sorry guys, you can't see the whole thing. Alright, today's goal is to solve systems of equations using substitution. So before we begin solving systems using substitutions, we need to know, what does substitution mean? And you got it, you guys are so smart. It means to put a person or thing in place of another. So today we're going to put a thing in place of another. So if we read our first example here, we find out, as you read it to yourself and I read it to myself, that we have a family that's going to brunch buffet. We know that there's a price for adults and a price for children. We don't know what the price is, but we know they have it. We know that the Rodriguez family has 2 adults and 3 children. And their bill was $40.50. The Wong family has 3 adults, 1 child, and their bill was $38. And we need to find the price of the buffet for an adult and a child, the price. So what I don't know is the cost for a child at the buffet, and I don't know the cost of an adult at the buffet. So I'm going to have to use variables to represent those situations in order to solve this problem. So for the child, I'm going to use X, and for the adult, I'm going to use Y. Make sure you write those down, because when we go to solve these, we need to remember which is which when we get to the answer. We're going to have a lot of work up here. So the first thing I know is that the Rodriguez family has 2 adults. So that would be 2Y and 3 children, plus the 3 children, because that's the number of people times the cost. And their bill was $40.50. So when I multiply the number of people times the cost, I'm going to get 40.5. I'm going to knock off the 0. I can keep it there, actually. And the Long family has 3 adults, so that's 3Y plus 1 child, which is 1X. Remember, we just write that as X. And their bill was $38. So I'm just going to leave it 38. So we're using substitution, which means I'm going to plug in, I'm going to put one thing in place of another. And what I'm going to do is I'm either going to put X in place of another X or Y in place of another Y. So the key thing I want to look for is a variable that is equal to 1. So I want to look for the equation. So I'm looking for the equation with a variable of 1, worth 1. And right here, I've got it right here. Here's 1X. So what I'm going to do is get the X by itself, and to do that I have to subtract 3Y from both sides. Now remember, that cancels out, and I'm left with X equals, remember I can't take Y's from a number, I can only take Y's from Y. So it's a negative 3Y plus 38. And now I'm going to substitute all of this in, because it's telling me that X equals this. I'm going to substitute that in for X in the other equation. So I just used this equation first. So now I've got to use this equation to substitute it in. We're going back and forth. So over here I'm going to write 2Y plus 3X equals 40.50. So I'm going to substitute all of this in for X in this equation. So I've got 2Y plus 3. And since it's times both of these, I've got to put it in parentheses. Negative 3Y plus 38 equals 40.5. I'm running out of space there, guys. Sorry. So now I'm going to distribute. Remember, I've got the distributive property here, so this is like my ketchup, and I need to put my ketchup on my hamburger, and then I need to put my ketchup on my fries. So I've got 2Y plus positive 3 times negative 3 gives me a negative Y. And remember, I don't want to see plus or minus, so I'm simply going to put 2Y minus 9y, and then positive 3 times positive 38 is, let me get my calculator, big math problems, 38 times 3, 114, so plus 114 equals 40.5. And remember, we learned we want to combine the like terms. So over here I've got a 2y minus 9y. They're alike. So 2y's minus 9y gives me negative 7y plus 114 equals 40.50. And now I want to move, I've got a two-step equation, so I want to move the 114 to the other side by subtracting 114, and I get negative 7y equals 40.50 minus 114 equals negative 73.5 or 0.50. Now I want to divide both sides by negative 7. And that becomes 1y equals, divided by 7, gives me 10.5. So y is 10.5. So now I have one value for y. Oops, sorry guys, you can't see with the camera. Let me zoom it out some. There you go. Oops, too much. A little jerky today. So now, this is the y. I'm going to plug that back into the first equation I used, which is right here. This was the first one. This was the second. Now I'm going back to the first one again. So 3y plus x equals 38. And I'm going to plug in this value of y right here. So 3 times 10.5 plus x equals 38. 3 times 10.5, 31.5 plus x equals 38. So then I subtract my 31.5 from both sides, and I get x equals 6.5. But remember, any monkey can find x and y. I had to answer a question. And the question was, what is the price for an adult? What is the price for a child? So if I look up here, child is x. X is 6.5. So a child is not 6.5. This is money, $6.50. And adult is y, so y was 10.5. Adult is 10.50. Now, if you want to check after we've done all this work, simply put 2 in your calculator. 2 times, what did we say y was? 10.5 plus 3 times x, which is 6.5, and make sure it equals 40.50. And then in this equation, type in your calculator 3 times y, which is 10.50, plus 6.50, and it should equal 38. If not, you made a mistake. All right, let's go to our second one. I know these take a lot of time and it takes up a lot of space. Here's our second one. We find out that, as you read it with me, that a used bookstore is starting to sell used CDs and videos. In the first week, they sold 40 CDs and videos, both of them together. It's $4 per CD, $6 per video. The sales for both CDs and videos, both, notice the word both, totaled 180. How many CDs and videos did the store sell in the first week? Oops, sorry guys. And it's not focusing very good. zoom in some so you can see. There we go. And refocus. So now, what don't I know? I know the cost of the CDs. I don't know the number of CDs for the first week. And I don't know the number of videos for the first week. So I'm going to make one X and one of them Y. So the first thing I find out is that they sold 40 used CDs and videos. So that means CDs plus the videos, the number of CDs plus the number of videos equals 40. I also know that they were $4 for a CD, $6 for video, and the sales totaled $180. So 4 times X plus 6 times Y equals 180. So now remember, our goal is to use substitution. So I'm looking for the equation that has a variable of 1. Well, this one here has a variable of 1. And actually, it has 2 variables with a value of 1. So you can pick whichever one you want to do. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to solve it for X. So to solve it for X, I'm going to do minus Y from both sides. And these cancel out. And I get X equals negative Y plus 40, or 40 minus Y, whichever way you want to do it. And now I'm going to substitute this into the other equation over here. 4X plus 6Y equals 180. So we're going back and forth between the two. So I said X is negative Y plus 40, so I'm going to do 4 times, in parentheses, negative Y plus 40, close parentheses, plus 6Y equals 180. I always seem to run out of room over here. And then I'm going to distribute. So my ketchup goes on my cheeseburger. 4 times a negative Y is negative 4Y. And then I need to also put it on my French fries. 4 times a positive 40 is a positive 160 plus this 6Y equals 180. So I'm going to combine my like terms. I have a negative 4Y here, and I have a plus 6Y, which makes it a positive. So negative 4Y plus 6Y gives me 2Y plus 16 equals 180. Now I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. These cancel out, and I get 2Y equals 180 minus 16, which is 164. Divide both sides by 2. Those cancel out, and I find out Y equals 82. So that's the Y. And now I'm going to go back and plug that into my first equation up here. So that was X plus Y equals 40. So I don't know X yet. I know it equals negative Y plus 40, but I'm going to plug in my value for Y, which is 82. Wait a minute, I made a mistake somewhere, guys. Oh, that was a 160. Sorry, guys. See what happens? I already realized I made a mistake because X plus 82 can't give me 40. That wouldn't be right. I'd end up with negative CDs, which I can't have. I made a mistake up here. I put plus 16. It should be minus 160 minus 160, which gives me 20. So see, you got to catch yourself. Make sure it's making sense when you're doing it. And 20 divided by 2 is 10. So Y is 10. I'm going to plug the 10 in over here. Now that makes more sense. And then I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. And I get X equals 30. But remember, any monkey can find X and Y. We need to find out how many CDs and how many videos. So if I come back over here, since I've written that the CDs is X, I know they sold 30 CDs. And my Y is my videos. Y was 10 and 10 videos. And that's my answer. Now you're going to do some on your own. They're not word problems. I just gave you plain, what I call naked problems. So I'm going to zoom in for you. Zoom in a little bit more so you can see. Copy down the problem. And I'm going to show you the answer in about 30 seconds. Or, sorry, 3 seconds. So here's the first one. I took the equation x minus 3y, moved the 3y to the other side, got x equals 1 plus 3y. This time I put the 3y second. Plug that into my first equation, which is 3x minus 5y equals 11. Found out that y equals 2. Plug that back into the first equation, or the second equation, the one I used the first time, and found out that x is 7. Remember, we write this as an ordered pair if it's not a word problem. So the solution to this is x is 7, y is 2. Here's your second example. Oops, sorry guys. Trying to keep it all in there. Copy down the equation. I'm going to show you the answer in about 3 seconds because my battery's about to die. So there we go. Hopefully my battery does not die yet. Uh-oh. -4 equals -4. Since that's a true statement, there's an infinite number of possibilities. So this would mean that it is the same line. Okay, third one. Hopefully my battery won't die. Copy it down. Pause the video. And I'm going to show you the answers in 3 seconds because I'm worried my battery's going to die. So there's mine. There's the work. This time I ended up with an untrue statement. So remember, if it's an untrue statement, there are no solutions. And these lines are parallel. So there's no solution. Remember, we learned these when we were solving equations earlier with variables on both sides. And that's it. So if you have any questions, I will see you tomorrow.